My husband and I presented ourselves at the U.S. Consulate in Montreal, Canada for the required interview before I could enter the country. It was the Christmas season of 1991. We were treated with a minimal amount of courtesy as English-speaking Caucasians, being citizens of the U.S. and Canada. We observed at the same time U.S. immigration employees treating people who did not look like us from all over the world with incredible disrespect that verged on abuse, as they were herded like cattle into a different line from us. They were only looking for visitors' visas to the U.S. so that they could join their families here for Christmas, and they were forced to stand outside for hours on a day that was 40 degrees below zero. This personal experience to ask you to consider the incredible obstacles that must face potential immigrants these days. The whole process is many, many times more difficult since 9/11, especially if you don't speak English or come from an entirely different culture. These are people who are seeking a better life for themselves and their families. They are trying to escape from war, from incredible gang violence and drug violence and political assassinations. They are willing to find work doing things none of us want to do. Landscaping and farming in the summer heat of Maryland. Jobs in disgusting chicken and meat packing plants. Cleaning our homes, and the worst of the worst. At the other extreme, I would like to point out that in 2016, U.S. was proud to claim 6 Nobel Prizes. Every single one of them was won by an immigrant. I would submit, with respect, that the whole issue of sanctuary really should be more properly addressed to the county commissioners.
I, first and foremost, think of how financially the town of Chestertown can actually witness and realize it's going to have been a financial loss if this were to happen to the town of Chestertown. The town of Chestertown is waiting for a USDA grant in the amount of $1 million, which is a federal grant. It is not in the checking account yet. The meeting with the legislators in Annapolis was supposed to be on Friday to discuss funding that we have requested from the town of Chestertown. That meeting was postponed. Washington College parents, I understand, every college recruits international students. However, there are going to be parents who don't want to send their child to a sanctuary city, to college. In addition to that, long-term care. If immigrants come to Chestertown and they need long-term nursing care, they have no financial resources to pay for that. How much money can the University of Maryland Medical System afford to absorb in free health care before it says, the heck with Chestertown, when we build the new hospital in Talbot County, we're going to close the facility in Chestertown? Housing. And I have to ask this, how many of you are going to take illegal immigrants into your homes? Where is the housing going to be?
Right here.
You want a bedroom count?
I'm not saying that we will be a sanctuary city. I just want people to realize the financial impact of what it would cost the town of Chestertown, where we only have a $3 million budget to begin with.
The two sides to this argument as it pertains to our undocumented immigrants. And you know, one thing that strikes me is that I don't believe that our conservatives are anti-immigration. I genuinely don't believe that. I simply believe that they're in favor of legal immigration. And I think it's important that we point that out, especially in an issue like this that is very contested. But on the flip side, I also acknowledge the fact that liberals, they're not pro-open border, let anybody across willy-nilly. So it's really just a matter of what we do with our undocumented residents who are here now. So I think, you know, we already have consensus in many ways, one of which is that the immigration system needs to be reformed. And that our undocumented immigrants, they are hardworking. But it also comes down to the fact that American jobs are for Americans, or our permanent residents. However, there are so many cases in which it has been proven that when it comes to these jobs that many Americans don't want, they're only filled by our undocumented immigrants. And there is a cost that we pay as a country when those jobs go unfilled. So it's quite clear that, you know, our undocumented immigrants do play a vital role in this country, and it ties back to my original point that immigration needs to be reformed. And I hope that's something that together we can find consensus in, because if we simply approach this argument from the perspective of making Chestertown a sanctuary city or not, we'll never find common ground.
We're a country of rule of laws. The laws for immigration are federal laws. And if you want those laws changed, write your congressman, write your senator. If that doesn't work, get a placard and go over and stand in front of the post office. I think it's the only federal building in town. That's where your gripe has to be. Don't put us as a town in conflict with the government. We don't want to do that. But if you put us in that position, you know, the Civil War was fought over that. The South said, what do you mean? You're trying to tell us that we have to obey federal law? We want to make our own laws. Well, if you don't like the law, change it.